The Pistons didn't come from Detroit. The Detroit Pistons didn't start in Detroit. They began in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Owned by Fred Zollner, a man who manufactured pistons. Yeah, I said it. And that is where the name comes from. When Zollner sold the team to Bill Davidson, everything changed. And moving to Detroit, 1956 and 57 season. In 1957, the franchise relocated to Detroit, not to a place, to Olympia Stadium for 4 seasons. That is where the Pistons live. Cold building, old bones. Detroit basketball was still finding its identity. Cobo Hall and the league changing. By the 1970s, the Pistons moved again, this time to Cobo Arena. And this is important because in 1976, the NBA merged with the ABA. The league changed forever. Style, speed, culture. But Detroit was still searching, still unstable. The tear and another move. Attendance dropped. The city was hurting. And eventually the Pistons moved again. This time to the Pontiac Silverdome. A football stadium. Too big, too hollow. Basketball did not echo right in there. It never felt like home. And ladies and gentlemen, for a king to be a king, first he must be a prince. And that is where all of the kings played. Yeah, I said it. The Palace of Auburn Hills is born. So they built something new in Auburn Hills. Not downtown, not Pontiac, a destination. A place of Auburn Hills. 18,000 seats, luxury suites, 180 to be exact. Designed to feel powerful, designed to last. And for years it did. And then came that night. And when November 19th, 2004, Malice in the Palace was introduced. One night, one drink, one moment that rewrote the building's legacy. And a matter of fact, it rewrote NBA history. Now it's sad to say that all those memories got toned down. Yeah, I said it. You see what I'm saying? See, years later, the palace sat empty. Yeah, I said it. The palace sat empty, quiet, abandoned. A building once filled with noise, left to remember its former self and its former glory. Despite renovations, despite history, it was demolished in 2020. And Jermaine O'Neal, he said he simply wanted to let go. Jermaine O'Neal once said he replayed that night over and over in his head for years. And when the palace was finally torn down, that is when he said he could finally leave it there. Not to forgive it, not to forget it, but simply to release it. And the meaning? Because places simply hold trauma. Yeah, I said it. And I'm not talking about being a patient in a hospital, but I'm talking about sometimes PTSD is real and it holds trauma. And you can save all the drama for your mama. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes they have to disappear before people move on. And in closing, and now Detroit again. Buildings fall, eras end, memories don't. The palace is gone, the banners still exist, but the walls that held that noise are dust. The cycle of Detroit basketball. You see what I'm saying? Detroit basketball has always moved in cycles. Fort Wayne to Olympia, Cobo to the Silverdome, the Palace, and then nothing. But every time the Pistons lose a home, they lose an identity. And every time they build it back harder. So I'm gonna talk about the new Detroit. No apologies. Because right now, Detroit is becoming Detroit again. Not pretty, not polished, but nasty. Matter of fact, nasty dogs. Yeah, I said it. Dogs. Guys who don't flinch. Guys who don't ask for respect. They just simply take it. Yeah, I said it. So let's talk about the coach and the culture. This team has a coach who understands something the league keeps forgetting. You don't build winners with slogans. You build with habits. Yeah, I said it. Defense, accountability, effort when nobody is watching. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, simply is Detroit. The pieces are real. As a matter of fact, remember when you was maturing and you used to play with puzzles and you used to get the pieces together? It was real. These players ain't just chasing highlights. They're chasing stops. But they're learning how to suffer together. And that is how champions is made. Slow, ugly, unavoidable. And the East is watching. And we all got eyes and it's free to see. And even Stevie Wonder can see this through Ray Charles' eyes. The rest of the East sees it. And they won't say it yet, but they feel it. Matter of fact, they feel it in their bones. Just like when you go outside and it's cold and you feel it in your bones and you be like, I cannot wait till spring get here. Because Detroit don't announce its return. Detroit shows up and it makes you uncomfortable. The Palace held chaos. Before that, it held dominance. Before that, it held hunger. These echoes didn't disappear when the building came down. They simply moved. The city doesn't need another palace. It needs a team that reflects it. Hard, uncompromising, unbothered by outside noise. The Malice at the Palace wasn't just the end of a Detroit basketball. It was a scar. And scars don't mean weakness. They mean survival. They mean that you lived through something and you came back together tougher. Detroit, we never left. We are just waiting again. Just to be feared again. And this was my take on the Malice that happened at the Palace.